Good morning, Judge Bush's Chambers. How may I help you?
Good morning, Judge Bush's Chambers. Who am I speaking with?
This is Victoria.
Victoria?
How are you?
I'm sorry, Victoria?
Yes. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Victoria. A little distressed.
Okay.
Victoria, my name is Chris Sebastian.
Yes, sir.
And I have filed an appeal to the judge's order from last week. The judge ordered that I go to a competency evaluation, and I felt it was very inappropriate. I mentioned all of that on the record, and I objected, saying there was coercion involved. And you can't agree to be coerced and threatened when people are withholding evidence and lying on the record and in court. So I filed an appeal, and this morning I'm supposed to be, about right now, at this competency hearing. At the same time as I filed an appeal, I filed a stay. I came to the judge's courtroom yesterday. The judge was not sitting there. I spoke with the clerk who does the recording there and said, I'm filing the appeal and I'm filing a stay. Could you please tell the judge? He said that he couldn't. But I wanted the judge to know, because I'm not trying to evade, for instance, the psychiatrist report, that I have agreed to go to.
Yes.
That would be the one that I chose. But when I'm asked to go to the court psychiatrist after the first court psychologist perjured herself in her report, and it's clear, and there's been no evidentiary hearing, and the government has acted in bad faith from denial of net worth finding rules, which are the first rules that are supposed to be upheld in due process, and where Judge DeMille refused to read the record but tried to have me sent off for more than just a competency evaluation, a competency
restoration. Can you hold 1 moment, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
In any case, basically I've called to say that I intend, and if you could transmit this to the judge, because she should have seen the stay by now and the paperwork for the appeal that was completed and filed, and paid the $100, which I didn't have to pay. Which I didn't have, but I found it and I paid for it.
Yes, sir.
The point here is that I don't know what the judge intends. Now, if she wants me to go and turn myself into jail, I'll do that. But I'm not going to participate in a court psychologist competency hearing when those very same people are the ones that have already perjured themselves. And it can be seen, and I haven't had my evidentiary hearing, and the judge even said that I had a right to controvert, to subpoena, to cross-examine, because this woman cannot stand scrutiny. And on top of that, I feel that there's been no breach in presumption of competence, but nobody has allowed me to controvert basically anything. Even in the last appeal, the CJA lawyer who was glammed on me then, though I filed pro se in that appeal too, her brief didn't carry my arguments. The stay does carry my arguments, and you can see what they are, and the evidence has all been entered into court in raw data. It was the lawyer who's supposed to polish things up if he's going to be glammed on me. He refused, but all the raw data's there, the laws. I've done my job in terms of I can prove the due process steps that were denied, and I can prove that I've handed over laws, and I can prove that I've tried to discuss with lawyers, and I can prove that everybody has sabotaged my due process rights. From the psychologist who lied in a report, to Hunter, to the fact that there is no standing for Hunter, in fact, because I'm not eligible for the CJA. From the very beginning, the government has acted in bad faith. Now, I'm trying to get things to some kind of resolution where the charges are either dismissed or we get to the net worth finding with no aspersions on my sanity. I have a reasoning IQ that is top of the line. I even have now 2 copies of the same transcript of May 30th. One is pristine, and it shows my mind pristine when the judge allowed me to speak. And the other, mind you, they're signed by the same person, is altered to the degree that it is beyond comprehension how a transcript could be so altered. And this isn't the first time that this has happened. So, bottom line, I need to know what the judge would like me to do if I am respectfully refusing because it's an unconstitutional court. And I can show the judge also the sites where you don't have to obey an unconstitutional law or court. And there are sites for such. But I just want to know, I'd rather know that the judge has said okay to the stay or dismissed the charges. The law is quoted as to how and why she can and under what rubric.
Well, let me have your number, Mr. Sherman.
My telephone number is 301-704-2662, but all of my numbers are compromised if you stop and you think about what I've been saying all along. So I can call you back if you'd like in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes. I'm trying to do the right thing here, but I don't want to be tortured, and I don't want to be coerced, and I don't want to be lied about. I want a jury.
Yes, sir. Judge Bush has gone to the bench, and so therefore I won't be able to relay this to her.
When would you like me to call back? At noon?
You can call back at 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock. I shall call back at 1 o'clock, Victoria, and hopefully the judge has honored the request for a stay. It's the reasonable thing to do. This has gotten way out of hand, and, you know, we're talking about a misdemeanor charge on me, but we're talking about huge felonies around me, and I'm terrified of torture and people lying in court. Absolutely terrified. And I will let everybody know I'm taping this too. Just like you guys, when I call, it says, for training purposes, etc., we're taping. Well, I'm taping. I'm taping everything.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Reached the chambers of the Honorable Zoe Bush. We're not able to answer your call at this time. Please leave a message and your call will be returned as soon as possible. And remember, if you're calling regarding one of the judge's cases, leave the name and docket number and a brief explanation for your call. Thank you and have a pleasant day.
Yes, this call is for Judge Bush's chambers and Judge Bush. This is Chris Sebastian. I spoke with Victoria earlier today and tried to keep everybody in the loop as to what I'm trying to do in my legal rights to appeal and to ask for a stay, especially considering the coercive nature of what has been going on over a misdemeanor charge. But the point here is that Victoria said that I should call back in a week, that the judge had not made a decision. She had told me to call back at 1. I called back at 1:15 and got that information. I said I would be happy to call back in a week. But I had also said that I'm happy to go with, as had been said in court and agreed to, my own psychiatric evaluation. And I had also said in court that I had a contract 3/4 of the way. Well, it was done, but it needed to be polished. I'm not a lawyer, but I know enough about offer, acceptance, consideration, being of like mind, no coercion, as the elements of a contract. And if I come into court tomorrow to ask the judge for a list of lawyers who can polish up this contract, since Hunter refuses to advise in any capacity, I would welcome a list of lawyers who could polish up this contract. I offered to give it to the judge in court. She did not accept it, though she already has a rough draft, a much rougher rough draft than the one I've got right now, as mentioned also in court. But I would also welcome a list of competent forensic psychiatrists from which I could choose, who would be prepared to honor a contract that protects me in the best practices of psychiatry. And that's all I'm asking for, which is that people honor the best practices of psychiatry with the camcorder on. This is not a medical issue. This is a competence for court issue. And there's no reason there can't be a camcorder on, and there's no reason I'm not allowed best practices. Now, the judge has already said now, of a sudden, that Hunter is no longer needed for such, but that's not what the best practices say. In any case, I will call in the morning and find out if the judge would like me to come in to present the contract, to have her find a lawyer who will polish it, where I can just look at it and make sure, because the intentions, all of the terms, if you will, of the contract that are needed in such for best practices to occur and to be documented correctly, just like as if it were a deposition. But I would be happy to come in tomorrow morning to get a list if the judge deems that it's okay to do so. I'm sure the court has to have a list of lawyers who can polish up a competency contract so that one can go about meeting the court's requirements. The money is there. I've got a letter that shows the money is there for such a psychiatrist, but if it's the psychiatrist of my choice, I've got to be able to contract him. And that has been blocked by Hunter and others all along. So if we're trying to find honest, truthful remedy to this conundrum, and I'm happy to go to a court psychiatrist too, but once the perjury in the prior psychiatrist report has been scrutinized. I'm saying it's perjury and that the government has acted in bad faith. And it is absolutely crystal clear upon scrutiny that she cannot stand by her report. So, if such is the case, it's reasonable to think that if people don't want to review her report, there is reason for that, and perjury is not allowed in court. In any case, that's what I have to say. I will call first thing in the morning and hope that maybe the judge has made a determination on the stay, either to dismiss or to simply stay until, all of the merits of my arguments are presented to the appeals court, because the judge also denied judicial notice and denied admission from Hunter that he was aware of the psychiatrist's reports being fatally flawed, because Sims had told him that his signature was authentic on that motion, which blows a hole in the psychiatrist's report. It's fatally flawed. I can't help that. That's their signatures again. My thanks for your understanding the needs to try and meet the court's requirements in honest fashion so that I can pursue the next step, which is to, get to the actual jury trial, speedy jury trial by right of law. My thanks for your time and trouble. I will call in the morning.
To approve, press pound. To record from here, press 1. To play back, press 2, 3.
Yes, this call is for Judge Bush's chambers and Judge Bush. This is Chris Sebastian. I spoke with Victoria earlier today.
To make private, press 1. To make priority, press 2. To include a fax, press 5. Priority. To make private, press 1. To remove priority status, press 2. To include a fax, press 5. To send, press pound. Thank you for leaving your message. To access your mailbox, press star R. To transfer to another extension, press star T. If you are finished, please hang up or press star X.